the YouTube. Here's my 2 cents on the YouTube. If you join me over there, we can interact. You can write to me. And if you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me. Juan will put it up on the bottom of the screen. I'll be able to interact with you. If you stick over here on the TikTok, you just get to look at me from the side. And I think I look kind of funny, but you can see one of my degrees over here. But if you come over here, you can see all of my stuff. You can even see 2 of my degrees right here because I am a big teal. And I don't know if you know this, but my hair is getting kind of long. It's rather delicious. I don't know if you love it, but I love it. Everybody loves it. What's going on? I don't know. Nothing. Nothing. It's not like we just traded for a WNBA star who hates this country. Am I happy for her as a human being? I sure am. She has a wife. She has a family. She has her own life. I wish her the best. Let's just start with that, right? I came across a little frustrated at the beginning. I'm allowed to be. That human being deserves to be here in America, to be home. I am glad that she is bathed in the freedoms and the protections of the United States, of the government that we have, of the Constitution that we have. We can be happy for this human being, okay? I'm going to be happy for her. I'm going to be happy for her family. We get an American home, okay? Let's be upfront and honest. This is a real life human being, an American, and she is home, okay? She's going to be home for Christmas. I am genuinely happy for this human being, and she's an American, and we got somebody home. Okay. More than one thing can be real at the same time. More than one thing can exist, and they can also contradict. I don't even know if this necessarily contradicts. The idea that we traded the merchant of death, the largest arms dealer that we've ever captured, someone suspected of putting into motion a plan to kill Americans, we traded him for a WNBA star who protested our national anthem, who refused to come out of the locker room on American soil during the national anthem, who knelt for the national anthem, who spoke out against our country. Speak out, okay? Speak out. But understand your viewpoints, they've got consequences. When we put our speech up there, they have consequences, which is the beauty of free speech. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. I completely disagree with this human being. She has every right to say what she's got to say, but you know what comes with it? This thing called consequences. Does that mean that she has to stay and rot in America? No, but people can be a little bit frustrated. We can have more than one thing exist at the same time. We can be a little frustrated. And I just got Twitter Files Part 2 just dropped. Juan, can you do a little research for me while we're on here? Let me know if there's any huge ones that hit, things that I'm really looking for, known quid pro quos. If we got to use that, we want you to do this, and then that will happen. If you do this for us, we'll look the other way on that. Those are the big ones. Where else was the government involved? So we're doing this in real time, guys. You live over here. You're live over here. And Juan's going to do some research for us in the background. If he's got anything big, Juan will have you jump in, okay? It'd be better than the signs, okay? So we may get Juan on the show tonight. That could be a giant plus. So let's go back to the idea of free speech. Brittany Griner exercised hers. I'm absolutely ecstatic that she had that forum, that she could protest the flag. Listen, I've had folks come at me that I am appreciative of the fact that Americans have the right to protest the flag. Do you see the difference there? Do we see the nuance there? I don't like that she protests the flag. I wore it on my shoulder. My friends came home wrapped in it. Their wives were handed the tri-folded flag. Do you understand? I hate the protest of the American flag. I am ecstatic that we live in a country where you can do it. Can we see the nuance there? I just banged my mic because I'm brand new. I've never done this before. Can we see the nuance there? And I've gotten a lot of hate for this. Listen, if we live in a country where you can't protest the flag, then we've lost. We've lost. All this cancel culture that I talk about. If you see me looking down over here, it's because I'm on TikTok. But if you're on TikTok, I really want you to come back over here on the YouTube. Here's my 2 cents. I want you to join this conversation with me. I catch a lot of flack for this view. I'm a purist when it comes to freedom of speech. I want everybody to say the dumbest thing they could possibly think of because I say dumb stuff every day, and I don't want anybody taking that away from me. I want to be able to say what I want to say. And if we live in a country where folks can no longer protest the flag, then we lost. Cancel culture has absolutely won and has infiltrated everything. If cancel culture actually fully won, I don't think that they would take away kneeling to the flag, but you understand where I'm going with this. I hate seeing people kneel for the flag. I hate people saying I hate seeing people not come out of the locker room to protest the flag. I hate it. But I'm appreciative that folks have the right to do it. Can we agree on that? Can we disagree on that? Cindy, I see you. I want you to come over to the YouTube. Okay, here's my 2 cents on the YouTube. Can we see the difference? I hate it. My friends came home draped in it. Their wives were handed the flag. I wore it on my shoulder. It flew on the planes with me. The day that I dropped bombs on bad guys because they were killing Americans, we had a flag that we were flying for my father that I gave to him that he has in his mantle at home. I love that flag. I put my right hand up. Juan put his right hand up for it. My wife put her right hand up for it. My father put his right hand up for it. His father put his right hand up for it. My mother's father put his right hand up for it. My two grandparents were fresh off the boat, and they came here and defended this country against enemies, foreign. I don't know about domestic, but foreign. You understand where I'm going with it? I have a lineage of this. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm saying that it's been a part of my family and what we've done to defend that flag. But defending that flag means, go ahead, protest it. I can disagree with you all day long, and I'm gonna. And how great is it that I can disagree with you all day long, right? You see how this goes? This goes both directions. So that being said, Miss Griner, you can see why folks are a little upset with you. You can see why folks are saying, why did we trade for somebody who doesn't appreciate this country, who thinks this country is oppressive and demonstrates it by desecrating and protesting the flag? Did she desecrate it physically? No, but you could make an argument that not standing for it, not kneeling for it, not coming out for it is a form of desecration. It's a strong word. I know that. I'm not backing off of it. That's how I see it. And I'm allowed to say that. And that's delicious and that's beautiful, right? If you're over here, I really want you to come on over to the YouTube. Here's my 2 cents, because they're probably going to take us off of here anyway. We do a little bit better on the YouTube. So you can understand the frustration. So there's nuance to life. I am happy for Miss Griner. I'm happy for her wife and her family. This is a human being. I love you, Celia. You're always here. You're the best. I'm glad you're home. Cynthia says, can't wait to see her first interview on mainstream media. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she learned some lessons. I don't know. I hope so. I hope maybe she says, wow, now I can really see all the freedoms that I took for granted, all the freedoms that I spat on, all the veterans that fought to keep those freedoms, to keep me free. I hope she comes back. I hope she doesn't come back and see it as some sort of a mandate, a new mission to continue to show with this broader spotlight, which she's clearly going to have. She's going to be on everything when she gets back here. I hope she uses that new brighter, broader spotlight to say, you know, America, we're not perfect, right? We can agree there. America, we've got some room to grow, right? We can agree on that. America is beautiful, and here's the reasons why. Me, an African-American, lesbian woman, married to a woman, playing overseas, this country came for me, and they would come for you because you're an American. And my sexual orientation, being married to a woman, my race, my country did not turn my back on me for any of those things because this is not a hateful country. It is not. But go ahead and say it if you like. Say it as much as you want. But the folks on the other side, don't shut us down when we disagree with you. Juan's diligently working over there. I think he's going to jump in here. I guess some more Twitter files dropped tonight. Let's get into a little more of the, not the nuance, but a little more of the meat. So Ms. Griner was traded for, what's known as the Merchant of Death. Big time arms dealer, connections all around the world, nefarious type guy. We got him. We had him in prison. He maintains he's just a pilot and an entrepreneur, and I'm sure he's a great guy. Fine, upstanding Russian. Probably a homegrown capitalist and loves the West and would never do anything and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yep, Juan can put that sign up. I'm not about to say it. You guys don't get to see it. I'm sorry. It's an inside joke that has to stay an inside joke. Just trust me, we don't want to get canceled. But Juan, a fine, upstanding American, Puerto Rican himself, had a joke. So we'll just leave it with that. The meat of this is a little bit more that Juan didn't put up my timer. I'm going to bust you for that tonight, Juan. You didn't put up my timer. This guy, it's his first night, and nobody knows what's going on. So we traded for this arms dealer, Merchant of Death. I'm sure he's just going to go home. He's going to raise a family, live on a farm, and nothing to see here, folks. And Miss Griner will be happy and ride off into the sunset. And everything's great, right? There's an American Marine who's caught over there. There's other Americans. The Biden administration is making the point it was one or nothing. And if we can get one American, can we get that American home? Let's do it. Man, bargaining chips with human lives and the like, it's a hard spot to be in. We can be pragmatic. We can be understanding here. I feel like maybe if you had a better negotiator at the table, if you had somebody who was known for his negotiation skills, who might be tinted slightly orange, I don't think that deal gets made. But I would like for you to know there's a silver lining. There is always a silver lining. If you're new over here on the YouTube and you see me looking off to the left, it's because my friends on TikTok won't jump on over to the YouTube. Here's my 2 cents. Please come on over. You guys can write to me like my friend Celia, who's always here. She's the best. Come on over, write me a message, and Juan will put up on the bottom of the screen for you, and we'll have a conversation. We'll have a dialogue, as they'll say. And I'm sure they're going to take me down off of here anyway. They always seem to do it. All right, Cynthia jumps in. I never knew what it meant to be an American until I stepped on foreign soil. Absolutely. It was truly an eye opener at 14 years old. If I were to travel abroad right now, I would do a great deal of research. Simply voicing your opinion in some countries can be seen as a crime. Cynthia also says, amen, amen. It's probably to every single thing I've had to say because I am the smartest person you know, most likely the best looking, attractive, intelligent. Juan, how many other superlatives do we have here? Do we have time? I don't know how much time we have left because somebody didn't put the clock up. But with that being said, you have to know what you're getting into. You jumping in? Okay. All right. Juan doesn't want to be teased anymore about the clock. All right. Everybody stop teasing Juan about the clock. Okay. So, all right, get up. I can still hear you. I got you. Oh, you going to jump in? You going to let us know? Okay. So you let me know. All right. So we're going to keep talking about Brittany Griner. And, oh, you want to do it right now? All right. Here it comes. There it is. Wow. Okay, Juan. He got us. He got us. If you're over on the YouTube on Here's My 2 cents, you would have seen it. Oh, that's delicious. You know what? I would say now that she's on American soil and she's free again, go ahead, tease her. Go ahead, tease her. I guess she's going to run back. The sight of the American flag was just too much for her to handle. She had to go back. Too soon? I don't know. Too soon? I don't like the trade. There's nuance to life. I don't like the trade. I think Brittany Griner broke their law. And I think there was another meme out there. This is how Brittany Griner would be sleeping tonight if you were in prison in Russia. I mean, that's all there is to it. Am I wrong? Did anybody ever see her? Like Freedom Cantor, I think formerly his name was Enos Cantor. Freedom, was that his name? Freedom Cantor? The Boston Celtics basketball player who's trade. There you go. They're saying it's the worst WNBA trade anybody's ever heard of. But anyway, he's actually out there protesting and bringing light to the way that certain athletic gear is produced in a country that may or may not like us from the Far East. Has Brittany Griner ever been out there advocating for Americans stuck on foreign soil? No. So for America to jump and say we want an American back, I'm on board. For America to jump up and say we want her back specifically, she broke the law. Is that allowed to be said? She broke their law. Is it a law I disagree with? Sure do. Is that punishment way too hard? Absolutely. But guess what? I ain't Russian. I'm American. And in America, I have a voice here to say that's too much and I don't agree with that crime. Brittany Griner wouldn't have been out there for anybody trying to get them freed. Of course, there's nuance. I think nuance is the word of the day. I'm happy that she's home. I can be happy that she's home. I can also be upset with the way that she has protested the flag in this country. I can also be glad that she has the right to protest the country and to protest using the flag. I can be upset with the trade that was made and also understand that there was nuance. I do firmly understand this regime does not have the chops when it comes to negotiations. They just don't. His former boss, maybe even his current boss, Barack Hussein Obama, traded a whole bunch of terrorists back to the Taliban to get a deserter, to get a traitor. We got a little video you want to pop up here, Juan? If it's short, we could pop it up. You want to do it now? All right, we got a little video for you. Gotcha. Well, so that was the swap. Okay. Man, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. That person is a bad person. But let's get a little more into that. Always got our media. We have forgotten about the media, haven't we? How has the media spun this? I mean, reported this in a spinning fashion. Let's go on over to our friends over at CNN, shall we? Where their headline reads, why Victor Bout's return to Russia is so important for Vladimir Putin. You know what was really funny was earlier in the day, this headline actually read to the effect of it was a loss for, I'm sorry, yeah, that it was a loss for Biden. Okay, so this got updated, and I happened to see this earlier in the day, and I wish I had taken a screenshot of it. Let's just go down here a few paragraphs, do a little reading time for you. This is his career reputation, this merchant of death. The reputation is the man who became known as merchant of death. He spent 14 in jails. For what? He was extradited to the United States, and it was over a complex sting by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, in which the merchant of death was duped into agreeing to supply weapons to U.S. agents pretending to be Colombian terrorists. He was duped, folks. This man is really a victim of the system, as I'm reading here from CNN, and they're objective journalists. Let me go back to the top. Looking, doesn't say opinion. Sometimes they disguise the word opinion as analysis. Oh, you know what? I have analysis here. It's an analysis by Nick Patton Walsh from CNN. It's his analysis. This is by no means opinion. This is by no means fluff. This is by no means spin. But Mr. Patton Walsh would like for you to understand that this guy that we just released, he was duped into selling these. Man was a victim of the system, if you ask Mr. Nick here. And if you ask me, that's the case too. This guy was duped. You see how we just got to bring this down to reality. We got to bring this down to earth. This merchant of death stuff, this is just wildly outsized. This is out of control, folks. You need to know the reality. The reality is he was duped, and I've got more. But wait, there's more. I would like you to know that according to Mr. Nick, it is an oddity that after all the crimes he was accused of, the one he did jail time for, conspiracy. A plot, he says, rather than an act. He didn't even do anything. The man was in prison. He didn't even do anything. He was duped. And he didn't even go to jail for something he did. He went to jail because he was duped into making a plan. He didn't even do anything. Let's go further. Let's go further because the media is here to inform us, to teach us, to show us the light. Let's go a little further. It's beautiful. Let me get it here for you. This is really delicious. Here you go. Are you ready? Because you ain't ready. Ready? Mr. Nick goes on to say, it also shows some weakness on the side of Putin. Oh! Got him! Biden is so good. So good. He got home a WNBA star convicted of a crime, and all he had to give up was a guy who was duped into selling weapons that he planned to use to kill Americans, and he didn't even do anything. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Never heard of before. Biden was able to secure the release of a convicted American in Russia, and all he had to give up was a duped man who was convicted simply for a plot, not even doing anything. What is better, the trade or the media immediately springing into action to downplay reality and give you their version of reality? We live in this world every single day. Every single day. This is the world we live in. It is Orwellian. We're absolutely living in 1984. What you are being told and what you are seeing do not match. Do not believe your lying eyes and ears. Listen to us, the media. I am here to inform you so you can understand. This man is not what they want you to think. Putin lost on this deal. He got his butt handed to him. Biden, we bow down to you. Blinken, Secretary Blinken, we bow down to you. You made Putin look like a chump. You made him look like a chump. I learned this from you, Biden, because it's not creepy. This is the world we live in, folks. This is the world we live in. We have a media that's absolutely in the tank for is the propaganda arm of the party in power. Let's just go ahead and use this to segue into the Twitter files. I know it happened right after we were on the air last time. I didn't even go on TikTok about it. Why? Because everybody and their brother was talking about it. It was everywhere. Everyone was talking about it. We have to talk about it because this segues into that. / they just dropped some more. Come back later. I'm sure I'll post something. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But what did we find out? We found out that the media, big tech, are meeting with 3-letter agencies weekly leading up to the election. And then the 3-letter agencies, it's illegal. It is unconstitutional for the government to make any such law that would restrict the freedom of speech. So they didn't violate the First Amendment. They didn't. They just went to big tech weekly and said, hey, we think some things might get released. And if they are released, they may be hacked material and it may have something to do with this. So you may want to enforce it by maybe not allowing it on your platform. They didn't do it. Big tech did it. Twitter did it. Facebook did it. Everybody. And then the media jumped on board too because we had 50 some odd former intel agents that all signed a letter that have not been held accountable, that have not been brought forward. Why did you say it was propaganda? Why did you say it was propaganda? Do you stand by it now? Who told you that it was propaganda? Do you have a problem with that person? Do you feel duped? Because, we're just duping people left and right out here. We know the 3-letter agencies met with big tech and said, you may see something come out. It might be around these times. It may be hacked materials. You might want to treat it that way. And if you do, that's your decision. That's not the government. That wasn't us. I laugh about it. It's disturbing. It's incredibly disturbing. So thankfully, we've at least got some insight to that. I'm eager to see what is coming up. I'm gonna start reading it. I'm sure you guys are all reading it. We're gonna take a look at this together. One of my favorite responses to it, though, was something that Hillary Clinton likes to do. When she gets busted later on for something, and it's been years later, she said, "That's old news." Oh, well, because it's old, it's like you didn't even do it. There's no reason for accountability. There's no reason for repercussions. There's no reason for consequences. That's old. Karine Jean-Pierre did the same thing. This is old, and he's using it as a distraction. They're using their political spin when they say, oh, isn't it interesting how they're bringing this up to draw attention away from, and they bring up a different topic to get you in the media to go look at that rather than looking at them for their real thing. Oh, that's old news. And he's bringing it up to draw attention away from the fact that his platform isn't doing well. Well, I don't know. It's running. It's still there. So I think it's actually working. But that's beside the point. It's old, folks. It's old. And if it's old, there's no reason that we need to talk about it. It's just old. We colluded with them years ago. Remember, collusion's a bad thing. We have to have investigations, Senate investigations, House investigations. We have to have a special counsel for collusion. It's the end of our democracy. Because remember, Democrats just ran on and won on the Republicans are a threat to your democracy. You will lose your democracy. If Democrats win, we have sound democracy. If we lose the exact same election, we've lost democracy. That's where we live, folks. That's where you live. If Democrats win this election, it's because we have saved democracy. If we lose the exact same election, it's because democracy is lost. That's the world we live in. That's where you live. That's where I live, and that's where you live. And by the way, we scream and yell about collusion, and yet we have evidence of it. The 3-letter agencies colluded with big tech. Mainstream media jumped on board to run it along to make sure that information didn't get out during an election. Collusion. I thought collusion was bad. It's awful. It's the end of democracy. But when they do it, and we know it, it's to save democracy. Releases Twitter files too, exposing secret blacklists. Oh, so they were actively, I don't know if I'm still on one, but they were actively actually doing this. You know what I really like about this, and we only got a minute left, is Twitter had months to scrub this, to scrub this. So what he's finding was left behind. I wonder, of course, me, the conspiracy theorist I am, the nut job, the nutball that I am, makes me say, if this is what was left behind, what were they able to get away with? What were they able to hide? And man, one name that really pops out in my head is that Vijaya Gaddy. Woo! She is a special kind of corruption on that one. I don't know if you ever saw her on Joe Rogan's podcast where Tim Pool came on and just put her through the ringer. But she's a gifted lawyer, quite the politician. Got a whole bunch of people jumping here. I got Mooser saying he was blacklisted on Twitter for spreading the truth, of course. And I'm not even going to say the word here because we're going to get in trouble. My TikTok is one of my favorites. Mooser, you are incorrect. My TikTok is your favorite. You got to make sure you get that correctly. We do have about 30 seconds left here. I'm going to have to talk to Miss Lisette. She keeps jumping over to my time. I'm going to make sure that Juan gets back on time. So I'm sure Juan has the graphics on the bottom. He's going to show you my TikTok at 2cent_KSJ. If you're over here, you already know that. But if you're over here, you might not know about my YouTube. Here's my 2 cents over here on the YouTube. Oh, and we are having a lot of fun on TikTok these days. Come find me over there at 2cent_KSJ. And with that, Juan, if you're ready, everybody have a good night.
I was asking God through prayer, seeking a good news source. I believe he showed me the Epic Times. I deliver the mail and came across an issue. The front